Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's get started. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, let's recite our verses from Srīmad Bhāgavatam, module number 2. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Uddama Bhava Pishuna Malaval Guhasa Vridavaloka Madano Piyasam Sammuya Chapamajahat Pramadottamasta Yasyendriyam Vimathitum Kuhakairna Sheku Bhavadvidha Bhagavata Stirtha Bhuta Swayam Vibho Tirthi Kurvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gadabhrita Tulayamalave Napi Na Swargam Na Punarbhavam Bhagavat Sangi Sangasya Martyanam Kimota Shishaha Tiraskrita Vipralabdha Kshapta Kshipta Hata Api Nasya Tat Pratikurvanti Tadbhakta Prabhavopi Punascha Bhuyad Bhagavatanante Rati Prasangascha Tadashrayeshu Matsuyamya Mupayami Shrishtim Maitrastu Sarvatra Namo Dvijebhya. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's continue our study of Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 13, entitled Dhritarashtra Quits Home. We will start from verse number 44 today. We are reading the pravachan, the preaching of Shripad Narad Muni to Maharaj Yudhishthir, when Maharaj Yudhishthir was lamenting because Shri Vidurji, Dhritarashtra and Gandhari had disappeared from the palace, and he was considering himself responsible. Sripad Narad Muni was saying that just like a cow is bound by a rope to a pole, similarly we are bound by our karma and by the laws created by Krishna. Sripad Narad Muni asked Yudhishthir Maharaj not to lament. And in verse 43, Sripad Narad Muni tells Yudhishthir Maharaj that Krishna deals with this world just like a player sets up his playthings, plays according to his own sweet will for some time, and then winds up the game. Similarly, we are brought together and then we are gone. Like a game, we, when friends, we play games, we form teams, right? So we are in one team, you are in one team, and then we play cricket. But that is not eternal. Even after the game is over, we cannot say, hey, you are not in my team. Hey, you are in my team. No, tomorrow we play, tomorrow the teams will change. Somebody will be in some other team, like that. So we keep changing our position. Sometimes we are born in one country, sometimes born in another country, one family, another family. We keep moving around in this Brahmanda Brahmite, Kona Bhagyavan Jiv, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. Eternal thing is Krishna consciousness. Neha Vikramanashosti Pratyavayana Vidyate. So after that, in verse number 44, let's see what happens. Srīmad Narad Muni speaking. Yanmanyase dhruvam lokam adhruvam vana chobhayam sarvatha nahi shosyaste snehad anyatra mohajat. Translation and purport by our beloved founder Acharya, for whose pleasure, on whose instructions we are conducting this Bhakti Vaibhava course. Nitya Lila Pravishtha, Om Vishnupad, Shri Srīmad, Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Prabhupada ji is translating. Sripad Narad Muni is saying, O King Yudhishthir, in all circumstances, whether you consider the soul to be an eternal principle, or the material body to be perishable, or everything to exist in the impersonal absolute truth, or everything to be an inexplicable combination of matter and spirit, feelings of separation are due only to illusory affection and nothing more. Snehad anyatra mohajat. Snehad anyatra mohajat. Sripad Narad Muni is giving it very plain and simple, uncompromising philosophy. When the listener is spiritually evolved and ready to listen, then Shri Guru can give the full dose. Otherwise, a different preaching strategy has to be used. Can you give me some examples from Srīmad Bhāgavatam, where sometimes it was given as it is, just cut and dry, full dose, and sometimes it was sugar coated when the listener, hearer was not ready? Raise your hand if you can give some examples, both types. Just give one example each. Prachini Barhi, Narhari Dev Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, is it Maharaj Chitraketu?
Very good. Initially, when Maharaj Chitraketu was hankering for a son, Angira Muni did not preach to him because he was not ready. He said, all right, you will get a son. You should name him Harsha Shok because he will bring you Harsha and he will bring you Shok, happiness and distress. But when Harsha Shoka died, and when Sripad Narad Muni and Sripad Angira Muni visited him, now because of the pain and suffering, he was ready. Because he was in which of the four categories who surrendered to Krishna? Arti. He was in great distress. So then they gave him full philosophy, full dose. Even brought his son back to life. And the son died again in front of him. See, to make someone go through one who has just lost a loved one, to bring that person back to life. Oh, bacha jinda ho gaya. And then speaks little pravachan and then dies again. Is it not painful? So, but that was done by Sripad Narad Muni and Sripad Angira Muni because they knew Chitraketu was spiritually advanced now. He was ready for it. He didn't cry afterwards. After the son died again after speaking. What did the son say? Narad Muni said, Angira Muni said, come back, my dear child, come back into this body. Your father is lamenting. He was just a small child, infant who had died. So he comes back and he speaks to Shripad Narad Muni and Angira Muni. Which father is crying? I have had so many fathers. Immediately, Chitraketu Maharaj understands. Yes, this is the fact. So give me more examples. So you see, first Chitraketu was not ready, so it was not given. He was given material benediction. But when he was ready, he was given spiritual instruction. Shama Kishori Mataji, then Mukta Sangha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
The story of allegorical story of Puranjana told by Narad Muni.
Yes, to Maharaj Prachini Bari. Excellent example. Because Maharaj Prachini Bari was too attached, too much into illusion. He could not have understood philosophy. So he was told a story. Just like him. And in the end he said, but Gurudev, this Puranjan is just like me. Yes, that is the whole point. Like that. Another example, Mukta Sangha Prabhu, go ahead.
Prabhu, I don't know completely, but I would like to share that. This is with Rishabdev, Lord Rishabdev. He told to his sons, Nayam Deho Deha Vajam Ruloke Kastan Kaman Harate Vidpujam Sapodibyam Putraka Ena Satvachute. Esmat Brahma Sokintonantam. So it is a bit blunt.
Very blunt, yes. Full dose. Yes. Full dose. Yeah, because the sons were like Bharat Maharaj. So very nice example, superb example. Okay. Yeah, so throughout Bhagavatam we see this. Another example of allegorical story from Bhagavatam. I will not proceed ahead unless I get the answer. Quick. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Okay, my chanting is left, so I'll do catch up answer. Who was it? Who raised the hand? Raj Rishi Prabhu. Rishi Prabhu is the personification of sincerity. always there with video on. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, the allegorical story of the she-goat and she-goat, he-goat and she-goat of Puranjana.
Yes, Yayati Maharaj tells his wife.
Yayati Maharaj, yes. And the wife Devyani.
Yes. And both of them become self-realized after that. They go to the forest, do bhajan, give up sense gratification. Very nice example. So in this way, in Srimad Bhagavatam, we see when the recipient of knowledge is ready, Guru can give full mercy. Another example is the Prachetas. They were brothers and they were so austere, so ready. Lord Shivji came and gave perfect philosophy to them, highest philosophy, how to attain Krishna. The prayers of, it's called Rudra Geet, one of the Geets of Bhagavatam, Rudra Geet. So like that, it just depends on the caliber of the audience. Shukdev Goswami telling Parishit Maharaj, Uttam Adhikari. Parishit Maharaj is Uttam Adhikari. So he is such a amazing person that Krishna entered the womb of Uttara to protect him. He is the recipient. So Shukdev Goswami gives full dose. I heard from Gaurang Darshan Prabhu once that Parishit Maharaj and Shukdev Goswami, they are a combination of Uttam Adhikaris speaking to each other. Then Gaurang Darshan Prabhu said, this is interesting. I could not understand, but Gaurang Darshan Prabhu said, Narad Muni speaking to Bhagwan Vyasdev is Madhyam Adhikari. And Suta Goswami speaking to Shaunakadi Rishis is Kanishta Adhikari. What he was saying is, the listeners, Parishit Maharaj, listener, Uttam Adhikari. Srila Vyasadev, listening from Shripad Narad Muni in his despondency, was on the Madhyam Adhikari platform, he said. The conversation. Of course, Vyasadev is Bhagwan, He is Krishna's incarnation. But the level of spiritual evolution and Shaunakadi rishis, Gauranga Darshan Prabhu said ki they represent the Kanishta platform because they were engaged in all that karma kand, yagya. So they were elevated. So these are the three examples of Kanishta, Madhyam and Uttam Adhikari, enquirers, listeners of Bhagavatam. Speakers in all the instances were Uttam Adhikari. Sripad Narad Muni Uttam Adhikari, Srila Suta Goswami Uttam Adhikari, Srila Shukdev Goswami Uttam Adhikari. But the listeners were of that caliber. I don't know the reference for this, but I heard it from Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. So we go to the translation. Now we read the translation that Sripad Narad Muni is saying that these feelings of separation, they are always because of illusion and nothing more. And we saw how cut and dry Sripad Narad Muni was. He just cut it to the chase. You're in illusion, he told Yudhishthira Maharaj. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj was fit to hear that. In the purport, in the second sentence, Srila Prabhupada ji writes, either in his conditional material existence or in his liberated position of full knowledge and eternity, the living entity is eternally under the control of the Supreme Lord. This also we saw previously. Whether one is in the spiritual world in Vaikuntha or whether one is in the material world, the jiva is always subordinate to Krishna. We can never become Krishna. We cannot become equal to Krishna or greater than Krishna because Krishna is asamordhva. Nobody is sama and nobody is urdhva. Nobody is better than him. Text 45. Narad Muni is saying, Tasma jahi anga vaiklavyam ajnana kritam atmanaha katham tvanatha kripana varteram techa mam vina. Translation, Sripad Narad Muni is saying, therefore give up your anxiety. Give up your anxiety due to ignorance, ajnana kritam. Due to ignorance of the self. You are now thinking of how they, who are helpless poor creatures, will exist without you. So, I think a couple of sessions ago, Shama Kishori Mataji was discussing with me about this point on our Bhakti Vaibhava class. You are now thinking how they, means family members, who are helpless poor creatures, will exist without you. Sripad Narad Muni is saying, give up this ignorance, ajnan kritam atmana. Due to ignorance of the self, you are thinking like this, that you are the maintainers, protector of your family members. Purport. Prabhupada ji writes, I'm going to read the whole purport as it is. When we think of our kith and kin, when we think of our family members, our loved ones, being helpless and dependent upon us, it is all due to ignorance. See, Prabhupada is saying, it's all due to ignorance. We think that, oh, what will happen if I die? What will happen to my children? What will happen to my wife? What will happen to my old parents if I die? Prabhupada ji says, when we think our family members are helpless and they are dependent on us, it is all due to ignorance. Every living creature is allowed all protection by the order of the Supreme Lord Krishna. You see, Sripad Narad Muni in his previous life, he was the son of a maid servant. His mother was the only family he had. His mother was the only caregiver he had. His mother was the only protector he had. And she suddenly died by a quirk of fate. Just a snake bit and she was dead, gone. But what happened to Sripad Narad Muni? He traveled, he lived a long life, he did bhajan. Nothing happened. His mother went to milk the cow and she was bitten by the snake. And Sripad Narad Muni traveled through all the forests, all the hills, all the mountains and valleys, remember? And nothing happened to him. No snake bit him. Why? Rakhe Krishna mare ke, mare Krishna rakhe ke. Ultimately, we are not the protectors. It is Krishna. The Lord is known as Bhuta Bhrit. Prabhupada says, Bhuta Bhrit. What is the meaning of Bhuta Bhrit? One who gives protection to all living entities. Bhuta means all people. Bhrit means to give protection, to maintain them. Gopi Bhartu Padakamala. Bhu Bhrit. Bhuta Bhrit. One should discharge his duties only. Karmanyavar adhikaraste. We have adhikar only on our karma. What is our duty? We should do. One should discharge his duties only. Only the Supreme Lord can give protection to anyone else. Who is the protector? Only Krishna. We should never think I am the protector. Arjun teaches us this through his own example. What is that example? Raise your hand. I'm not giving any hint. I want to see how much you are following. Mukta Sangha Prabhu, go ahead, please.
So the context is the Krishna is the protector, right? That's the context. No? Okay, one of the scenarios is Arjun after this Kurukshetra war, everything. When Krishna leaves this planet, right? So Arjun, he's not able to take care of Krishna's wife and others, ladies. You know, he'll be beaten. He'll be defeated by simple robbers in the forest. Then he comes to Yudhishthira Maharaj and says that I use the same Tadvaidanuhu, same arrow, same bow, everything, but still I was not able to defeat because Krishna was not there.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Everybody got? That same Gandhidhari Arjun could not protect the Dwarka Mahishinis from tribals who attacked. Of course, those tribals were Krishna only. Krishna attacked in the form of those tribals and defeated Arjun. Arjun could not have been defeated by anybody else. But to teach a lesson, Krishna came and took his wives from Arjun in the form of those tribals. But it teaches us a lesson that all the power we have, all the ability we have, it is because of Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Paurusham Rishu. I am the ability in man. Balam Balavatam Cha Aham, Krishna says. You have to understand this. We should never, never, never become proud of our ability and our success. It is the greatest trap of Maya. I think Srila Prabhupada tells this story. I have heard it many times in classes from senior devotees. I have heard it being quoted from Srila Prabhupada only. Very similar to another story that Srila Prabhupada tells. This story is, there was a Brahman who had never missed Gayatri. You have heard that story? There was a Brahman who all his life since his Diksha had never missed Gayatri even once. He would do it at the proper Sandhya, Gayatri, Savitri, Saraswati, proper time, proper way, bath, achaman, asan, the direction was proper. You know, he would change his Brahmin thread every Ekadashi. Everything was very pakka, very perfect. And he had a lot of pride about his bhajan, about his sadhana, that I am so pakka in my sadhana. And one day it so happened that after his afternoon Gayatri, he was invited to another village, to another Brahman's house for prasad. So he went there, had prasad, overate, as Brahmins do. Srila Bhakti Rasamrita Swami Maharaj was saying that a Brahman is not worth his salt if he can walk home after eating lunch. He should be carried in a palanquin. इतना खाना चाहिए कि अभी चल भी नहीं सकते. इधर तक. Then the Yajman has to carry in a palanquin. Brahman Dev, चलो आपको घर ले जाते हैं. So he overate, and then he said, I have to lie down on my left side now. I've eaten too much. I need to take a nap. By this time, it was almost evening. And he slept off and he went into deep sleep, Sushupti. And it was the time for the evening, Sandhya, Gayatri, Vandan. And he was sound asleep. And at that time, the Devatas were rejoicing that today his sadhana mein khand aayega. Today he will not be able to fulfill his vow. He's sound asleep. Let him sleep. Nidra Devi also thought, let him sleep. Bahut puffed up hai. Maya Devi had arranged it that he will sleep. Maya Devi was very happy. But then the Yajman remembered, Arey, it is time for his Gayatri. He woke him up. Gayatri time, Gayatri time. Oh, हड़बड़ा के उठ गए. अरे, it's late, the sun is setting. Ran to the river, took his bath, sat down, facing the proper direction, and did his Gayatri just in time before the stars came in the sky. Gayatri was done. He was so happy. Yes. Almost, it was a near miss, but I did not miss it. I made it. I was very happy. So then all the Devatas, they asked Maya Devi that how did that Yajman, that host, wake him up? Without your inspiration, it's not possible. How did you do it? I thought our plan was to make him miss. So Maya Devi says, no. Initially that was the plan, but I changed my plan. I thought I can be more successful by allowing him to fulfill his vow of chanting Gayatri. Because now he has become even more puffed up, even more proud, which means he is now fully under my control. He thinks he is not. Vimuktamaninas. He thinks he is very advanced spiritually. But because he has pride, he doesn't even realize it. But he is already game over for him because that pride has come. So we should never be proud of our abilities. Never. Because we should know that whatever we are doing, it is because of the mercy of Krishna. Whatever ability we have, it is a borrowed ability. Because all ability comes from Krishna. Balam balavatam chaham. So we should only do our duty, and we should know that if the result is good, successful, it is because Krishna has cast his merciful glance. If the result is not good, we should think that it is some inadequacy on my side and I need to work harder, more sincerely. Like they say, we pray as if everything depends on Krishna, and we work as if everything depends on us. When Arjuna was shooting the arrows, he was giving it everything he had, full effort. But when we pray, also full dependence on Krishna. That's what pleases Krishna. When we fight like Arjuna and Bhishma there, both were on opposite sides, but both were giving all they had. One should discharge his duties only. It is only Krishna who gives protection to anyone. Text 46. Kala karma gunadhino dehoyam pancha bhautikaha katham anyamstu gopayet sarpagrasto yatha param. This gross material body made of pancha bhautika, made of 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether, is already under the control of Kal, eternal time, karma, action, guna, and the modes of material nature. And adhina. Adhina means under the control. Kala adhina, karma adhina, guna adhina. This material body, deho, yam, pancha, bhautika. This body made of earth, water, fire, and ether, pancha, mahabhut. This body is under the control of time, law of karma, and the modes of material nature. This is very important Siddhanta, my dear friends. Text 46. Please make note. Very important. Kala karma gunadhino. Hum adhin hai. We are paradhin. We are not swatantra. Paradhin. Kala karma gunadhino. Deho yam pancha bhautika. This ayam, this deha that we have, this body that we have, made of pancha bhautika, 5 elements. It is kala karma guna adhina. Under the control of time, material laws of action, laws of karma, and guna, the 3 modes of material nature. The 3 modes of material nature can really capture us very quickly. We have to learn how to identify. When we want to hear satsang, when we want to associate with devotees, when we want to chant Hare Krishna, we should know that mode of goodness is predominant in us. When we feel competitive spirit towards devotees, when we feel the urge to increase our comfort, luxury, enhance our material enjoyment, money, power, we want others to obey us, we want to control others, we should know that we are under the influence of mode of passion. When we become insensitive to the feelings of others, we hurt them, we sleep too much, we are lazy, we don't feel like getting up to chant our rounds, just laziness, nidra, alas, pramad, we should know immediately that mode of ignorance has taken over us. And we should try to situate ourselves in the mode of goodness so that we can come to Vishuddha Sattva from Sattva Gun. It is important, my dear friends, to identify the effect of modes, material modes, guna, upon us at every moment. When we behave in a certain way, we are like a puppet, and the modes of material nature are the strings pulling us. Sometimes goodness, sometimes passion, sometimes ignorance, in different combinations. But as sadhaks, it is our duty to learn to recognize the effect, influence upon us of the different modes. We do something, we should immediately think, I was so rude to this person. I yelled at this person. I was under the mode of ignorance, complete ignorance. Otherwise, how could I do that? How could I yell at a Vaishnava or a Vaishnavi like that? Oh, I missed my Gayatri, or I missed doing puja today. I didn't do Thakurji Seva. That means I was under the mode of ignorance, just laziness. Or we feel happy when somebody praises us. Then we should immediately know that this is mode of passion. We want more money. We feel happy when we get nice, tasty food. That means we should understand that we are under the influence of mode of passion right now. But when we want to be in the association of devotees, we want to serve devotees, we don't want glorification. We want to do Shastra Swadhyaya, we want to chant Harinam, we want to participate in satsang. We should know that we are properly situated. Mode of goodness is there. And we should try to keep mode of goodness intact. And mode of goodness goes away by 3 things. I have told this many times, but I will repeat because it is very important to remember and reflect upon. 3 things disturb our mode of goodness and pull us into mode of passion and ignorance. First is annadosh, what we eat. If we eat stale food, if we eat food that is not offered to Krishna with devotion, then there is annadosh, or food that is acquired by wrong means, food that is acquired by through professions which are very unethical or cruel, where the regulative principles are broken, and we eat food with that, it is going to affect our consciousness. Vishayira anna khaila dushta hela man. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anna dosh is one. Second is Sanga dosh. If we associate with people who are in the mode of passion and ignorance, those modes will infect us. We will also start feeling like that. So you associate with people who are very money-minded, you associate with people who are always talking about girls, then our mind also becomes polluted. Vishay and Stri Sangi. You have to be very careful. So Sanga dosh. If we associate with advanced devotees, we will also feel very spiritual. We will feel spiritually very protected. If you are in the association of devotees, good, sincere devotees. If you are in the association of materialistic people, materialistic thoughts will come in our mind. This is very practical thing. So there is Anna dosh, there is Sanga dosh, and there is Sthana dosh. Sthan dosh. If you are in a place where a lot of sin has happened, then that place will influence us. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said in the first verse by Dhritarashtra, Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. Because that was the place where the solar eclipse had taken place. Krishna had come, Brijvasis had come, Dwarkavasis had come, Hastinapur Vasis had come. And there was such a big union with Krishna and Balram. And over the ages, right from the time of Parshuram Bhagwan, so many religious activities had been performed in Kurukshetra. It's a very holy place. It was a dham. So that holy place exerts its influence. It's very important. If we do bhajan in Vrindavan, if we live in Vrindavan, Mayapur Dham, Jagannath Puri Dham, so that holy place exerts its positive influence on us. Whereas if we are in a place where the four regulative principles have been broken, there is lack of bhajan, then those vibrations will affect us. So sthan dosh. So there is Sanga dosh, there is Anna dosh, and there is Sthan dosh. If we are careful about where we are, if we are careful about who we associate with, and if we are careful about what we eat, then we will be able to maintain our bhajan. If these three things we are not careful about, then there will be disturbance in our bhajan. Anywhere where we have our deities, anywhere where there is tulsi plant, that is a holy place. There is no sthan dosh. So we should try to keep our deities or a picture of the deities or a tulsi plant near us. So this is very important. Otherwise, we are kala, karma, gunadhino. We are under the influence of the gunas, three modes of material nature: sattva gun, rajagun, tamagun. Our own previous karma, we have no control what we have done. It is going to come to haunt us. And we are under the influence of kal. Even if we do everything right, ultimately, mrityu sarvaharascha. Kal will come. And our time is limited, my dear friends, in this world. Our time is limited. So we should really, really, really look up to people who are avyartha kalatvam. People who, devotees who don't waste time. And we should try to become like that. Time is very important. Time management is very important. We have to never waste time. That is called sadhana. That is what we are supposed to do as sadhaks. So Sripad Narad Muni is saying this material body is under the influence of time, karma, and the modes of material nature. How then can it, being already in the jaws of the serpent, sarpa grasto, we are already sarpa grasta, we are already in the jaws of serpent of death, how can we protect others? Katham anyams tu gopayet. Gopayet means to protect. Katham anyams tu, औरों को कैसे बचाएंगे? खुद ही डूब रहे हैं. If a lifeguard is drowning fast, how can he save others? हम खुद ही मर रहे हैं, खुद ही डूब रहे हैं, तो कैसे दूसरों को, अन्यों को बचा सकते हैं? हमें सामर्थ्य नहीं है. We don't have the ability. Sripad Narad Muni is saying, how then can it, somebody already in the jaws of the serpent, someone who is sarpa grasta, already in the jaws of serpent, how can he protect others? Katham anyams to gopayet. Not possible. So we have to understand our position. I am a very, very small servant. Gopi bhartu pada kamalay or dasa dasanudas. I have no power. My strength is Krishna. I don't have any strength. Balam balavatam chaham. Like they say in Vrindavan, Mero bal Shri Vrindavan Rani. My strength is Srimati Radharani. So we have to understand that we are powerless. One who understands, not theoretically say, I am fallen soul, I am this, not theoretically, but one who actually understands that really, I have no bal. If Krishna doesn't empower, I cannot do anything. I am just Krishna's puppet. Puppet means what? Prabhupada said, Kasthera putali yatha nachao se mate, nacha nachao prabhu nachao se mate. Think about a Kasthera putali, the wooden puppet doll. If the strings are not moved by the puppeteer, the puppet has no power to move by itself. Not 1 centimeter. So we should understand we are like a dead puppet. We have nothing. If people are clapping, wah, 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 we should know it is the puppeteer. Not my credit. It is puppeteer's credit. He is making me dance nicely. So people are clapping. So claps are not for me. Claps are for Krishna. Once, my Guru Maharaj, Shri Radhanath Swami Maharaj, he gave a very fantastic class. And there was a long clapping. Now, normally we should not really clap. Because, think about this. If we are hearing satsang, the satsang is very grave. There are grave, heavy instructions from Gurudev in the satsang. If the satsang really goes into one's heart, after hearing satsang, we become very serious. We become introspective. We become grave. This is not some cinema show or some dramatic performance that we are clapping. Clap karna hai to Hare Krishna Mahamantra Kirtan mein clap karo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Clap karna hai to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra and clap, because that is the instruction Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives in Chaitanya Bhagavatam, Madhya Khanda. Clap your hands and chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So that we can do. But for some lecture, for some performance, clapping. The audience were clapping and Maharaj was smiling, as if Maharaj is enjoying the applause. So Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj's godbrother asked later on, and then he told this conversation. He asked, Maharaj, yes, the class was fantastic, no doubt, and it was worth applauding, and the devotees were like almost 60 seconds, almost 1 full minute. There was just clapping, and you were smiling as if you're enjoying the glorification. So I found it bewildering that God brothers can speak like this. Good they spoke like that. So apne liye ko clarification mil gaya. So Maharaj said, I was not smiling because the claps were coming for me. Maharaj said, when that whole sea of devotees, it was like a sea of devotees sitting there. When that sea of Vaishnavas, they were clapping, Shri Radhanath Swami Maharaj said, I was thinking about that boy who crossed over from Pakistan into India with no money in the pockets. And the border security was not willing to let me in. They said, we have enough beggars in India. We don't want another one. And I was thinking, see the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, that now for that same boy, Krishna is accepting such service, and Krishna is empowering me, giving me the ability to serve so many devotees, and now they are feeling so inspired. Maharaj said, when they were clapping, I was thinking of Ghanshyam Baba, Radha Vallabhi Sadhu of Vrindavan, was a very dear friend of Maharaj. He said, every day I would come to meet him, and he would be worshipping his Radha Gopi Vallabh. So in their main temple, they have Radha Vallabh deities, and Ghanshyam Baba had Radha Gopi Vallabh deities, small deities that he used to worship. Stories there in Journey Home. And how every evening, Ghanshyam Baba would tell Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, now let's put them in their bed. But you hold Radharani's head and Vallabhji's head, and I will hold their feet. And Maharaj said, I was not even initiated. I was not chanting Gayatri. I was not wearing Brahmin thread. I didn't know even how to do Achaman. I was just an American boy who had landed in Vrindavan. I had just lived there for a few weeks. And he said, no, you hold the head of Radharani and Krishna. I will hold their feet as we carry them to their bed at night. So I said, why? Maharaj would say, why? He said, no. Because you are their guest. And I am servant. So I should hold feet. You should hold the head. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu jumped into the Ganga because he heard the blasphemy of Vaishnavas from some envious people, which two devotees jumped into the Ganga after Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Raise your hands if you know. And who held which part of Mahaprabhu's transcendental body? Chaitanya Bhagavat. It was Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur and Shri Nityananda Mahashay, Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu held the hair of Mahaprabhu. This was before sannyas. And Haridas Thakur held the feet. He said, I cannot hold the head of Mahaprabhu. Nitai, you hold. So he held the feet, Haridas Thakur, always humble. Trinadapi Sunichena. So like that, he would say, I am the servants, I will do that. Then it was a freezing cold in Vrindavan. Very, very cold. Temperature used to drop to 1 degree, 2 degrees at night. And like America, there are no central heaters in the homes. And he just lived like that in one room, Ghanshyam Baba with his wife. And it was extremely cold. And they had only one chadar. Ghanshyam Baba had only one chadar. And Maharaj said that I will go. He said, no, you stay. It's dark. It's cold now. You don't go. You stay here. And you take this chadar. And Maharaj said, no, I cannot take this chadar. I started crying. No, you have to take the chadar. You are the guest of Radha Gopi Vallabh. How can you not take? You must take. You must take. I am not feeling cold. I am feeling warm. I am a Brajvasi. I am used to this cold. But you take this. Maharaj said, I am from Chicago. I am also used to cold. Said, no, but you are the guest of Radha Gopi Vallabh. You must take. And he would cover Maharaj with the blanket, a torn, thin blanket. And he would sleep. And Maharaj said, I could hear his teeth were chattering. He was trembling like this in the cold. Old, frail Ghanshyam Baba. So at night, I quietly got up. I took my blanket and put it on him. And then I slept. And after some time, I woke up feeling very warm. And I saw that the blanket was again on me. He said 2-3 times it happened at night like that. He gave me 3 braj rotis every day. 3 braj rotis every day to eat. Maharaj said, that is all I ate. Ghanshyam Baba's, his deities Mahaprasad, 3 braj rotis. Every day I would come. On the 4th day, Asim Krishna, Maharaj's friend, he said, don't you have any consideration? Maharaj said, what happened? You are eating those braj rotis. So he's giving me, that's why I'm eating. I said no, but he doesn't listen. He says, he insists that I should eat. Yes, but that's all he has in the whole day. Madhukari, he gets 3 braj rotis. He offers them with love to Radha Gopi Vallabh, and that's all there is. And you are eating all of them. So Maharaj was feeling so bad. Said 4 days he has not eaten anything. Not one piece. Not one morsel of food Ghanshyam Baba has eaten last 4 days. 5th day Maharaj goes and again he's blissful. Here, Gopi Vallabh's prasad for you. Maharaj said, I have already eaten. So Ghanshyam Baba said, no, I know you have not eaten. And even if you have eaten, this is a prasad. You should not say no. You should never refuse prasad. It's an offense to refuse prasad. You eat. Maharaj said, I will eat if you eat 2 of them. I will eat 1. He said, no, I have already eaten. Maharaj said, I know you have not eaten in the last 4 days. You please eat. Again, Ghanshyam Baba started crying. He said, no, you are the guest. I am not hungry. I have eaten these rotis all my life. I want you to eat. You eat, please. And he forcefully fed Maharaj everything that he had. This is the heart of a Brajvasi. Even in Govardhan Leela, when Giriraj Maharaj said, cook for me, Krishna said, cook for Govardhan. They cooked everything they had. All the chawal they had in the house, all the atta they had in the house, all the sabjis, all the ghee, all the milk, everything was used up. Nothing was kept. Everything was used up for Giriraj Maharaj. This is the Brajvasi spirit. They give everything they have to Krishna. So, I have absolutely no idea why I told this story. I forgot. So Maharaj was saying that this happened, and then Ghanshyam Baba told Maharaj that now your visa has expired and you have to go back to America. I have heard that Swami Maharaj has established in West Virginia something called as New Vrindavan. So you are leaving this Vrindavan. So you tell your Gurudev, Swami Maharaj, Prabhupada, that he should keep you in New Vrindavan. So you go from Vrindavan, you go to New Vrindavan. New Vrindavan is not different from Vrindavan, Ghanshyam Baba said. And these Radhavallabhis, they are famous for never leaving Vrindavan. They have that nishtha, akhanda vrajvas. So he's saying that if you have to go, then you go to New Vrindavan in America. And Maharaj said, and when I go there, what should I do there? He said, well, you should become a pujari. You should serve the deities. And then Maharaj, and then he said, and later on, then you should travel and preach. So Maharaj went, and somehow it so happened, Maharaj was in New York actually. And someone said that Prabhupada is now going to New Vrindavan. But before that, we have to go and prepare. So who wants to come to New Vrindavan? Maharaj had just landed in America from India. And Maharaj raised his hand, and next thing he knew was he was in New Vrindavan. Prabhupada also told him he should serve in New Vrindavan. And then they didn't have a pujari there. So someone wrote a letter that Richard Slavin should be given first and second initiation quickly, but we need a pujari. So Maharaj got initiation also, and he became a pujari of Radha Vrindavan Nath. And after doing that for almost a decade, then Maharaj started traveling and preaching. And now there were 8,000 devotees in the Vrindavan Yatra when Maharaj was telling the story of Ghanshyam Baba. So Maharaj was smiling, he said. Maharaj said, I was smiling when devotees were clapping because I was remembering the words of Ghanshyam Baba. How he had predicted the trajectory of my life. So we should always know that whatever we are doing, it is by the blessings of the great souls, by the blessings of our Gurujan, and by the mercy of Krishna. But by ourselves, we have no power. Kala, karma, guna, adhin. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, a conditioned living being is under the full control of material nature, represented by eternal time and activities under the dictation of different modes of material nature. Modes of material nature are very strong. We don't realize the strength because we don't pay attention to them. Next page, Prabhupada writes the same purport. Even if we are able to do something temporarily beneficial, time will see that the good project is frustrated in course of time. Even if we do something good, some charity, some benevolent activity, the time is so powerful, Kal is so powerful that it will destroy, wipe away everything. But what is not wiped away? Our spiritual credits. Neha vikram nashosti pratyavayam vidyate. Spiritual credits will never be destroyed. Bhakti is eternal. Text 47. Very famous verse. Ahastani sahastanam apadani chatushpadam Phalguni tatra mahatam jivo jivasya jivanam. Those who are devoid of hands, ahastani, sahastanam, are the prey for those who have hands. Apadani, Chatushpadam. Those devoid of legs are prey for the four-legged. Phalguni means those who are weak. Tatra Mahatan. They are the subsistence for the Mahatan, the strong. And the general rule holds that one living being is food for another. Jivo, jivasya, jivanam. Jivanam means food. Jivo, jivasya, jivanam. One living entity is food for another living entity. We may eat spinach and vegetables and so many things. They are also living entities, and they end up getting killed many times in vegetarian diet. But that is the food that Krishna has ordained for us after offering to him. Patram, pushpam, phalam, toyam. Like that. So, ahastani, sahastanam. The bear, tigers, leopards, they can use their claws, their hands very nicely to pull animals down when they hunt their prey. So they are sahasta. They use their hands. Whereas a deer is not able to use hands. No? You'll never see a deer pick up something with the hands and putting in the mouth. No. So they only have legs. They have four legs, no hands. But a tiger has hands, a bear has hands. So ahastani, a deer, sahastanam, is food for the tiger. Apadani, those who cannot walk on legs, they don't have legs to walk, like grass, stationary. Apadani, chatushpadam. It is the food for the four-legged deer. The deer eats the grass, tiger eats the deer. Phalguni tatra mahatan. The weak are the food for the strong. A leopard may kill a deer and a tiger will come and snatch it away. A group of hyenas will bring down a wildebeest and a lion will come and just take it away. Phalguni tatra mahatan. The strong will dominate over the weak. Jivo jivasya jivanam. But jivo jivasya jivanam. It is the rule that one living entity is food for another living entity. Struggle for existence, the human race, our only hope, His divine grace. Srila Prabhupada wrote this. I love this line so much. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada ji writes in the first paragraph, few sentences down, there is nothing to be lamented if a tiger eats a weaker animal, including a man, because that is the law of the Supreme Lord. So tigers, lions, when they eat, they may eat a cow. Unko paap nahi lagta. They don't get any law of karma. Law of karma, 6th canto of Srīmad Bhāgavatam explains, is only for human beings, not for the animals and insects. There is nothing to be lamented if a tiger eats a weaker animal. That is the law of the Supreme Lord. But although the law states that a human being must subsist on another living being, there is a law of good sense also. For human being is meant to obey the laws of the scriptures also. This is impossible for other animals. The human being is meant for self-realization. And for that purpose, he is not to eat anything which is not first offered to Lord Krishna. Yajna shisthashana santo mucchante sarva kilvishe bhunjate tetva agham papa ya pachanti atma karana. So we must offer before eating, otherwise we'll only eat sins. And if we eat what is offered, if we eat Krishna Prasad, mucchante sarva kilvishe. We'll make spiritual advancement and we'll be protected from suffering. So this is a very important Siddhanta. Prabhupada is saying that by reading this verse, Jiva Jiva Sajivanam. Acha, okay, then let me eat meat. Jiva Jiva Sajivanam. One living entity is food for another living entity. No. Prabhupada says that is there, but what we are going to eat, that also we have to see. And that our scriptures mention. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. And regarding the details, don't eat onion, garlic, don't eat mushroom. Well, we may not find this in Bhagavad Gita or Srīmad Bhāgavatam, but depending on which mode of material nature the food stuff is in, our acharyas in the parampara, they have given us a diet. So when acharyas say don't eat onion, garlic, we should not do kyun mew. Are kyun? Aisa kyun? Gita mein to nahi diya aisa kuch. It is vegetable only. Why yours? No. We have to see Shastra understand Shastra through Guru and Sadhu. This is a very important thing. We cannot just read and understand. We will become confused. So we have to understand Shastra through Guru and Sadhu. So our Gurujans have very clearly said, don't eat onion, garlic, don't eat mushroom, things like that. Masoor ki dal mat khao. So we should follow that as far as possible. Srila Prabhupada also writes in one Chaitanya Charitamrita purport that we should not eat urad dal. It is as bad as eating meat, urad dal, which is commonly used in idli, sambar. So we have to be careful. Text 48. Tad idam bhagavan rajan eka atmatmanam swadrik antaro nantaro bhati pashyatam mayayorudha. Therefore, O king, Sripad Narad Muni is saying, therefore, O king, you should look to the Supreme Lord only, who is one without a second. One without a second. Eka Atma Atmanam. One without a second, and who manifests himself by different energies. Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. And is both within and without. He is within Antaro, Anantaro Bhati. He is manifested inside and outside. Ito Narsimha Parato Narsimha Yato Yato Yamitato Narsimha Baher Narsimha Hridaye Narsimha. So like that. Krishna is everywhere. In the second sentence, Srila Prabhupada writes, the living beings are also manifestations of Krishna's marginal energy. Tatastha Shakti. Krishnera Tatastha Shakti Vedavet Prakash. Jivera Sarup hai, Krishnera Nityadas. So we are products, manifestations of Krishna's marginal energy, Bahiranga Shakti, Tatastha Shakti. Qualitatively, we are one with Krishna. Krishna is Satchidananda. We are also constitutionally being his Ansha, Satchidananda. And there are innumerable living beings, both within and without the external and internal energies of the Lord. Since the spiritual world is a manifestation of Lord's internal energy, the living beings within that internal potency are qualitatively one with the Lord without contamination from the external potency. So because we are supposed to be Daivi Prakriti Ashrita under the shelter of the internal potency, we are actually constitutionally free from contamination of external energy. But when we falsely identify ourselves with the external energy, then we get trapped. Further down, Prabhupada writes, from within, Krishna corrects the desiring living being as localized Paramatma, Chaitya Guru. And from without, he corrects by his manifestation, the spiritual master and the revealed scriptures. This is very important. A spiritual master who is not following Shastra should be rejected. A so-called spiritual master who is not speaking from the Shastra, who is not realized the Shastra, what is the use of such a... He is not a spiritual master. Because who is the original spiritual master? Krishna. Vasudeva Jagadguru. Krishna is the original Guru. And Krishna has given the Shastra. The Shastra is non-different from Krishna. Disrespecting the Shastra means disrespecting Krishna. Guru brings us closer to Krishna. Guru connects us to Krishna. And therefore, because he is such a dear servant of Krishna, Guru is Sakshadhari. He is to be respected as much as Krishna. Yasya deve parabhaktir yatha deve tatha guru. Tasyaite gajata yartha prakashante mahatmana. Like that. So, from without, spiritual master and Shastra. It's Hari Guru Shastra. And internally as Chaitya Guru, Paramatma. Further down, Prabhupada writes in the purport, by Krishna's order only, one should become a spiritual master. Very clearly. By Krishna's order only, one should become a spiritual master and cooperate with Krishna. One should not become a spiritual master for one's personal benefit or for some material gain or as an avenue of business or occupation for earning livelihood. One should not take the responsibility of being a guru to earn wealth, to earn security for one's old age. ठीक है, अगर if I have chelas, if I have disciples, my old age will be secure. They will serve me. They will give money. They will take me to the doctor. They will get everything done for me. If this thought is coming in the mind, that means we are far away from the platform required to become a spiritual master. We have a very material conception. So this is a nice instruction Srila Prabhupada is giving, that one should not become a spiritual master for material gain, for business, occupation, earning livelihood, for one's personal benefit, prestige, ityadi. We should not. So just one more verse we'll do, then we'll stop. Verse 49. Soyam adya maharaja bhagavan bhuta bhavanaha kala rupo vatirnosyam abhavaya suradvisham. That Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, in the guise of all devouring time, Kala Rupa, has now descended. Avatirnosyam. He has descended here on earth to eliminate the envious from the world. Abhavaya Suradvisham. Suradvisham means Indrari, enemies of Indra, enemies of the Suras. Suradvisham, those who are against the devotees, those who are against the will of Krishna. Abhavaya, उनका अभाव कर देंगे भगवान इस दुनिया में, मतलब उनको निकाल देंगे. They'll be eliminated, Prabhupada says. Very perfect translation. Purport. There are two classes of human beings, namely the envious and the obedient. Very simple to understand. Devotees and demons. Since the Supreme Lord is one and the father of all living beings, Pita Aham Asya Jagatam, the envious living beings are also his sons, but they are known as Asuras. But the living beings who are obedient to the Supreme Father are called Devatas or demigods. Those who are obedient to Krishna's laws are Sura, others are Asuras. So the choice is ours. We will continue from verse number 50, Krishna willing, on Tuesday. Granthara Srīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In essence, let us not lose sight of the overall what's going on. Sripad Narad Muni is giving very valuable instructions to Yudhishthir Maharaj, who has suddenly faced, abhi to Vidurji aaye the. Vidurji came, everybody was happy, and then suddenly he has gone. Dhritarashtra Maharaj has gone. Gandhari Devi has gone. He's very heartbroken. He feels responsible for them. And this is what Sripad Narad Muni is instructing Yudhishthir Maharaj, that don't lament. We are under the influence of Kal, Karma, and the Guna. We cannot protect anybody. Everybody is being influenced by time, their own karma, and the modes of material nature. Our only duty is to perform our duty. And we have to depend on Krishna at all times. Shama Kishori Mataji and then Sham Chandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. Thank you for the wonderful class. Prabhuji, first I want to apologize. I think the other day, the question that I framed was probably inappropriate. I didn't mean to disrespect the Lord. I just meant that, it may be perceived that he is capricious, or I didn't really mean to say that Lord Krishna is shallow. I just thought the verse could be interpreted that way. So I wanted to apologize for that.
No need to apologize. I didn't take it like that.
Yes, but that was not my intention. I just wanted to understand it.
Yeah.
And today, Prabhuji, what you said about, that we have to kill the vegetables and plants also, they have life. And when we
Some of them, like when we eat an apple, there is no killing involved. But when we eat palak, usually the plant uprooted. Cilantro, kothimir, plant is uprooted many times. So some killing is there, some may not be there.
So in the Bible, when they say thou shalt not kill, what are they referring to? Because we understand they are saying don't kill animals, but even plants we have to kill to eat, right? So
Yes. So, see, we are not experts on the Holy Bible, so I don't know. But I can tell what Prabhupada said about that commandment. I think it is a 6th commandment or something like that. Thou shalt not kill. Srila Prabhupada interpreted it as, don't kill the animals. Don't kill the animals. So, that is the straightforward understanding, because Prabhupada would quote that commandment to encourage the Westerners, the Christians, to give up the mass slaughter of animals that takes place because of the meat industry. Don't kill. Now, as far as killing plants is concerned, Srila Prabhupada would always say that although they have life, but they don't have a developed central nervous system to perceive pain. So their proprioception, their pain perception is not on the same level as an animal. Animals are very sensitive to pain. Little bit they get hurt, they start howling. But trees don't have a developed nervous system to perceive pain like that. So there is less sin in killing a plant. There is sin, no doubt, but it is way less compared to killing a goat or killing a cow or killing a hen or killing a fish, because they can all feel pain. So plants have a, like we were discussing that day, that blade of grass is potentially Brahmaji. So the grass, the plants, trees, they are quite dull. Their consciousness is very subdued and dull. So therefore, that's what Srila Prabhupada said, that don't kill the animals. As far as killing the plants is concerned, I have not really studied the Bible. I don't know what understanding they have. Do they even... Once I was talking to one colleague who is a practicing Catholic Christian, and she told me that plants, animals don't have a soul. She told me this, according to her understanding of the Christian teachings. So I disagreed with her. So I don't know what their understanding is about killing plants. But Prabhupada would say that don't kill animals. Thou shalt not kill. Don't kill animals. If Jesus Christ had to say it refers only to human beings, then the word murder could have been used. Thou shalt not murder. So like that.
and this verse that we read, Prabhu, that one animal is the subsistence for the other, that could be misinterpreted, right? To say that this is a license to kill animals and eat them, because the stronger wins over the weaker, and humans are the strongest.
Yes, that's why Prabhupada clarified in the purport. We read that. Prabhupada clarified in the purport that this does not mean that we do anything, because it is a fact that Phalguni Tatra Mahatam Jiva Jiva Jivanam, but it is also Siddhanta. Prabhupada said that human beings are supposed to follow the Shastra. And Shastra doesn't tell us to kill animals for human beings.
So there we have to have some faith to be following the Shastra when you're trying to teach this to, outsiders.
Well, if they have faith in Ahastani Sahastanam Apadani Chatushpadam Phalguni Tatra Mahatam Jiva Jiva Jivanam, then they should have faith in Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yama Bhakta Prayati also.
Yes.
You cannot do Ardha Kukuti Nyaya. I will take one verse, I will accept
What
it,
I like.
reject it. ऐसा नहीं चलता.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Shamchandra Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandat Pranam.
Brijwasi Shamchandra Prabhu ki jai ho.
I'm in Maya world now in Mumbai.
Yoga Maya.
No, Maya.
I can see, is that Kusum Sarovar behind you? I can see Kusum Sarovar behind you.
Kusum Sarovar is there, but it's just a picture.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, when I was just trying to contemplate about this Narad Muni's advice to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So in one sense, I think Yudhishthira Maharaj is right in showing his concern towards protecting the kith and kin, simply because we know that he has been trained by Krishna to follow his dharma. He is a Kshatriya. So, and Kshatriya's job is to give a proper protection to the praja and to everyone. So he has led his life based on the training given by Krishna, and now stage has come and he's showing his concern that he still feels that the protection should go on from his side, because he is after all the emperor.
And then for Narad Muni to say that it is almost like sarpograsta, right? Sarpograsta, what he uses, that we are already in the jaws of the serpent. So I was just trying to, okay, it's a higher principle, no doubt. I mean, higher knowledge. But at the end of the day, I mean, today in material world, even though, I mean, there are doctors dharma is to, save the patient. Similarly, parents' dharma is to give protection to their children. So if we all think in that direction of sarpograsta, then, we all become weak in one sense to perform our duties. Is it not so?
Correct.
So
this is,
just thinking, can you shed some light on that?
yes, Prabhu. So actually, this will come in the further verses, in the next verses. This is explained very clearly. Narad Muni is saying like that because it's very sweet. You brought up a very good point, and the answer is very sweet. Bhagavatam itself explains, and Prabhupada elaborates in the purport very beautifully. Prabhupada says that Narad Muni was worried that Yudhishthira Maharaj should not go searching for Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. Because if he goes searching and he meets them in the forest, he will disturb him in his bhajan and try to bring him back to Hastinapur. So as a protective instinct, Shripad Narad Muni is saying that now he has gone, don't think that you are the maintainer, you are the protector. Let him go now. Don't go disturb him. He has gone for a higher purpose. And he is going to attain mukti. So don't disturb him. So that's why he's saying that. What do you think? You are the protector, like that. So there's a purpose behind the preaching here.
Right. Yeah. It's getting clearer. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Divya Mataji and then Kirtida Sundari Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You were speaking about the vegetarian protein that is considered as bad as meat. I was wondering, because I'm just sharing my personal experience, I added this vegan protein in my diet, the protein powder. I added to the milk and drink it, and it has helped with my strength because throughout the day I have to keep lifting my child, and I felt a big difference adding that. So I wonder, and it's a high protein powder, it's a vegan protein. So why, I mean, is it bad to consume?
No, these vegan proteins, Mataji, Divya Mataji, if you read the ingredients, they come from chickpea or, other sources.
Brown rice and...
mainly from grains and
like
nuts, peas. So this is all bona fide, no? Prabhupada used to eat peas. Sanatan Goswami, Rupa Goswami used to eat chickpeas. So no, nothing to worry. You can have. Just don't eat masoor dal. And avoid.
Why is masoor dal considered a...
Kyunki masoor ka hai kasoor. It has got protein that increases lust. So don't eat masoor. Leave it.
We don't eat masoor anyways, but urad,
exactly.
that goes in dosa.
I told my mother, when I first read about masoor, I told her mother, we cannot eat masoor. Mother said, we never eat masoor, so don't worry about it. We never use it. So don't worry.
So urad is also, I mean, because urad, again, idli dosa.
I knew there will be a question about urad dal. Someone can share that purport from Chaitanya Charitamrita, please, where there is the mention of urad dal. Prabhupada says it is like eating meat. Because of high protein, Mataji, because then the lusty desires increase. So we should, anyway, 1 month in a year, we don't eat during Chaturmas. We don't eat urad dal. So see, Mataji, as we go deeper and deeper in Krishna consciousness, then there are more details because love is in the details. Initially, when we learn mathematics, we have simple rules, how to add, how to subtract. But then as you go in more details, then there is trigonometry, there is algebra, geometry, more rules, more complications. So similarly, something like that, when we go deeper in Krishna consciousness, there will be more details to worry about. Well, we should go systematically. First, let's start with 4 regulative principles. Let's start with 16 rounds, study of Bhagavatam, doing more Nam Sankirtan, doing some deity worship, leading a pure regulated life. And then slowly these details will come. Urad dal, I am also not very particular because sometimes there is a lot of resistance because sometimes people don't know how to make without urad dal, idli sambar, idli dosa and all. So anyway, I don't interfere too much, but it is Krishna Prasad only. So Urad Dal, I would say, detail, and if possible, follow. If not possible, Hare Krishna. Like that. Okay. But the reason behind that is because it is rich in protein, and it may, this particular protein of Urad Dal, Masoor Dal, it may make us more lusty. So it is not bhajan anukul. So devotees avoid it. Then if you go to Vrindavan, there are so many things they avoid. If you go to Jagannath Puri, there are so many things they avoid. They don't eat carrots. They don't eat tomatoes also. They don't eat so many other things. They don't eat like only the native indigenous vegetables they eat. Anything that came from outside, they don't eat बैंगन, eggplant नहीं खाते. So ऐसा बहुत है, but these are details, and yes, the love is in the details. Once my Guru Maharaj Srila Radhanath Sai Maharaj was told, but Maharaj, these are details, na? Why worry about them? So Maharaj looked very sternly. Maharaj said, love is in the details. So yes, they are details, but doesn't mean that because they are details, they are not important. So like that. So slowly, systematically, we should progress. Jitna possible, you are in the householder life, you have husband, kids. So most important is to do Naam Bhajan. Most important is to do Naam Bhajan. Chanting. That is our main. Chanting, hearing, associating with devotees, serving devotees. That is more important. Krishna will be more pleased with all that. Okay. So Kirta Sundari Mataji has, I think, shared the purport. I'll read it. You can all read it. It's there about Urad Dal. Kaun se do dal? Masoor dal and Urad dal are considered non-vegetarian. These two dals contain a great amount of protein, and food rich in protein is considered non-vegetarian. On the whole, during the 4-month Chaturmas, one should practice giving up all food intended for sense enjoyment. Okay. So then we go to Kirtana Sundari Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, then with pranams. Prabhuji, in one of the purport, actually before starting my question, I would like to share one thing that few weeks back we prayed for that small boy Neve.
Yes.
So body, and today we got the news that Mother Urmila's grandson, Chakra, he was 24 years old. He also left his body. And today, purport also we read that that's what Bhuta Bhrit, that Krishna is the ultimate protector. Krishna gives the protection. So, as being a devotee, and after reading Srila Prabhupada's purport, it somehow makes sense, easy to understand that Krishna's protection is not always giving life. Krishna's protection may be sometimes taking life. But how to understand people outside, like those who come to our Bhakti Rikshas, they're very new. Somehow it's very difficult for them to make them explain that how Krishna is the protector. If he cannot protect even after so many prayers being offered, like, I hope you're getting my point. So Prabhu, if you can just elaborate on that, like how we can make them understand.
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. My devotee will not perish. But before that, in the 2nd chapter only, Krishna says, Ajo nityam shashvatayam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. Dehinosmine tha dehe kaumaram yona vasam se jirnane yatha vihaya. So many verses Krishna establishes that we are not the body. The body is like a garment, and we are the soul who is indestructible. So first Krishna explains who we are. Then Krishna says, I will protect you. So Krishna, when he says Name Bhakta Pranashyati, it cannot refer to the body of the devotee, because Jatayu died, Abhimanyu died. They were great devotees. So did Krishna not protect them? Yes, Krishna protected them. भगवान राम स्वयं अपने गोद में रख के उन्होंने अंत्येष्टि क्रिया की जटायु की, और उसे अपने धाम ले गए. दशरथ महाराज का स्तर दिया और कहा कि जटायु जी, आप जब दशरथ महाराज से मिलोगे, कृपया उनसे मत कहना कि सीता देवी का हरण हुआ है, उन्हें बहुत पीड़ा पहुंचेगी. Such sensitivity. So anyway, so the point is that Jatayu attained the supreme abode, Abhimanyu attained the supreme abode. So Krishna protected them. Krishna's protection may include the body or may not include the body. And this we have to explain on the basis of Bhagavad Gita 2nd chapter, that Krishna is not talking on the bodily level. In the 2nd chapter only Krishna established that we are not on the bodily level. We are talking on the level of the soul. So a jiva, because Krishna's vision is like that. Krishna sees us as souls. The soul, whatever bhakti the soul has done. Now Chakra, he born in a devotee family, chanted Hare Krishna, wore Tulsi Kanthimala. So for a devotee, everything is auspicious. Because whatever happens, life or death, Krishna always is bringing the devotee closer and closer to him, to his lotus feet. Same with Neve. Even when he was coming out of his little bit, he would become lucid for a few moments. He would say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Full Mahamantra. And where is Gurudev? Shri Krishna Chaitanya, he said a few times. Jai Nityananda, he said. So these were the last words that he spoke. Harinam. So for a devotee, really everything is auspicious. And honestly, I consider myself, since the beginning of my Krishna consciousness, I have had this understanding that we are all in Jallianwala Bagh. In history, we read, Jallianwala Bagh, British soldiers lined up and cut, they shot at the helpless Indians who had assembled there. And I remember myself, always think myself like that we are all in this material world and death is shooting bullets at us. All of us are going to die. There is 100% mortality. It's just a question who dies when. Somebody is going to die in the next bullet. Somebody is going to die in the 100th bullet. Somebody dies soon after birth. Somebody dies at the age of 100. But all of us are going to perish. Of course, in Jallianwala Bagh, everybody did not die. But that example is that people were just being shot. And they had nowhere to escape. So we are in that situation. Death will come in some form or shape. Cancer, heart attack, road accident, something will happen. A bullet can hit the head, a bullet can hit the neck, bullet can hit the chest. It's fatal. So we are going to die in some way or the other. That is a detail how we die and when we die. But we are all going to die. And we don't know how much time we have. That is why the whole Krishna consciousness movement, Prabhupada was such an emergency situation. Urgency. Take to Krishna consciousness. Take to Krishna seriously. Chant Hare Krishna. Make your life perfect. Don't waste time. These are the Prabhupada's repeated instructions. Why? Because of exactly this. We don't know when it will be our last day. His Holiness Mritadhwaj Maharaj, when he came to Atlanta, I will never forget the first Sunday feast I attended of Maharaj. Maharaj said, typical way, we do it every Sunday. How many of you have come for the Sunday feast for the very first time? Raise your hands. And some 2-3 devotees raised their hands. Then Maharaj said, how many of you are come for the Sunday feast for the very last time? Hare Krishna. It was so powerful, the message. We don't know. So, yes, Mataji, padam vipadam, there is death at every step. And we have to explain based on Bhagavad Gita that Krishna's protection doesn't always refer to the body. It may be. He protected Draupadi. He protected Arjun from death. He protected Parikshit from death. But then he did not protect later on when he was Christ. So Krishna is independent. Who can question Krishna? We have to accept Krishna's plan and just whatever time is given to us, make the most of it. Whatever time is given to us, it is like an employer giving a servant, an employee, some money. You take this $1,000, ye kaam karke aa. Now, if we somehow, ऐसी गड्डी दी है, अभी $20 की गड्डी दी है. अब एक $20 की नोट गिर गई, गलती से घूम गई, and we do some work we are not able to finish because of the lack of $20, and we come and say कि boss वो $20 गिर गए गलती से, sorry क्षमा करना. तो हो सकता है माफ कर दे, क्षमा कर दे. But if you say पूरे के पूरे $1,000 घुमा दिया, कुछ भी काम नहीं किया, तो employer, boss will say you are not a reliable servant. So if we waste all of our human life, all our time, ठीक से भजन ही नहीं किया, तो Krishna will say कि you are not fit, you will be punished. But हाँ, भजन कर रहे हैं, कुछ गलती हो गई, कुछ त्रुटि हो गई, तो भगवान क्षमा करेंगे. प्रतिज्ञा तव गोविंदा नमे भक्त प्रणश्यति इति संस्मृत्य प्राणाम धारयाम. प्रतिज्ञा तव गोविंदा. It is Krishna's promise that अपराध सहस्राणि क्रियन्ते हरनिशम मया. अहरनिशा मैंने अपराध किए हैं. Aparadha sahasrani, thousands of offenses I have committed. Aparadha sahasrani kriyantam nisharmaya. दासोहम इति मन्मत्वा क्षमस्व मधुसूदन. क्षमा कर देंगे मधुसूदन अगर थोड़ी गलती है तो. But if we just waste our life, squander our life away, कि आज करे सो कल कर, कल करे सो परसों, इतनी जल्दी क्या है प्यार, जब जीना है बरसों, then we have no hope. Krishna will not give mercy then. So like that, we have to explain to them, even the newcomers, on the basis of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. What to talk about the newcomers? Even when I hear all this, at one point really gets so sad.
It is.
It's really heartbreaking, and especially the parents, like Chakra's mother. She just posted a message that if anyone of you, if you have lost your child, please come and give solace to me. I'm not able to get any kind of solace. So, hearing such message really bewilders us. But thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for reminding us that, yes, with so much of urgency, we have to take Krishna consciousness. And that Jnanwala Bagh, like the example that you gave, is really apt. Thank you. Thank you for your association, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. I'm reminding myself also as I'm speaking. Thank you, Mataji. Ajay Govind Prabhu, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for very nice answers and summaries. Prabhuji, I have some questions regarding the Urad Dal thing. Sorry about that. So while you were saying that, I just was making a search and I see in Chaitanya Charitamrita there are many references, like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visits Advaita Acharya's home, and there was also a pastime where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stays at Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya's home. There were many preparations which are made up of Urad Dal and were offered to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he honored them. And at the same time, we see Prabhupada's purport, which is saying that, it's high protein diet and is as comparable to the non-vegetarian food. So how do we reconcile the two opposites here, Prabhu?
If we want to make spiritual progress, then slowly we have to go deeper and deeper in our bhajan. As far as Srila Prabhupada's purport is concerned, this is high protein means, basically, Prabhu, what I have heard is that if we eat high protein, it increases our lust, and it increases the mode of passion in us, and then we are not able to do bhajan properly. So for a sadhak, these things are important, and there are many things that are important. Now we have to see how much we are able to follow. And if we are not able to follow, it should make us humble. That Prabhupada has written in the purport, but I am not able to follow. And if we are able to follow, it should be only with the desire that Krishna, this lifetime I want to not give you any reason to reject me. That was Ayendar Prabhu's mood. He would always be very careful that I don't want to do anything that is against what Srila Prabhupada has said or against the Shastra, because I don't want to give Krishna any reason to reject me. He always had that fear that Krishna is going to reject me. So that is a very healthy mentality for a devotee. So we should see how much we are able to follow. Prabhupada also said, chant your rounds very attentively. Hear every mantra that you chant. So that is a more important instruction that we should follow. So yes, there are many things that we are supposed to follow, and slowly we should do. And as we grow older, we spend more years in Krishna consciousness, we reach the age of Vanaprastha, and then these things we should heartily incorporate in our lifestyle. That's yes, now no Urad Dal, because abhi itna, at this age, we don't go so much visiting and parties and feasts. We can live a simple life. We can also give excuse कि अभी मुझे digest नहीं होता है, अभी my age is gone, I get stomach upset, so I'll eat something simple, moong dal, rice, khichdi, some roti, dal, like that. We can make it simple. So as we progress, Prabhuji, we have to become more and more simpler in our eating, dressing, lifestyle, and go deeper and deeper in bhajan. I know devotees who don't eat Urad Dal. I know one devotee, he doesn't eat Urad Dal, he doesn't even eat Everest MTR masalas, no outside masalas. He makes it simple at home. Whatever masala is there at home, salt, black pepper, bas wahi. Bahar ke masala use no chili, nothing. And he is very, very strong in his bhajan. Engineer with children, married. does 3 lakh every Ekadashi. Does, I don't know, he doesn't tell, he's very humble, but I know more than 1 lakh every day. And very pakka ekdam. Like I can bet my life that he will never fall down. He can never fall down because he doesn't give a chance to Maya. He's very pakka. So slowly, but he has done it slowly, not as overnight. So gradually, we have to develop ourselves, but that is the direction we want to go to. Slowly. Our Goswamis were very renounced. They would eat very simple food, madhukari, some roti. And ultimately, that is we are Rupanugas, na? So we have to follow the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami, the Goswamis of Vrindavan. So that is where we are headed, but how quickly we can reach that is individual, and we have to just introspect and be practical. But always we have to remember ki niyam agraha. Too much emphasis on niyam is not good, and niyam agraha, not accepting the niyam, that is also not good. Rupa Goswami says both are pratikul. So we have to be careful. Under the guidance of one's Gurudev, one's Shiksha Guru, we should steadily progress. So that is the proper understanding, Prabhuji. These things are there. If Mahaprabhu, I would not say that because Mahaprabhu ate, I will eat. Mahaprabhu also ate a lot of sweets. When Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya offered and Advaitacharya, if we eat, then we will become what Bhakti Rasamrita Maharaj says, Brahman. Has to be carried in a palanquin after a meal. So Mahaprabhu can eat the whole world. He's Mahaprabhu. But people call us Prabhu, but we are Das. So, like that. Is that okay, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. My main thing was not like Mahaprabhu is eating, so we should also eat. But in our scriptures, we had the references like, it was being consumed and used in preparation. So more towards that. But
yeah, it is being used. So definitely, it is definitely used now in South India. For generations, they are using urad dal for idli and dosa. So definitely it is being used, but what Prabhupada is saying is, for a serious sadhak, it may produce disturbance in the bhajan. So better to avoid.
No, sure, Prabhuji, your answer is satisfactory.
And see, it is a detail because Prabhupada never mentioned it in the initiation vows. If you see Prabhupada's purports or lectures, Prabhupada says, no intoxication, no meat eating means no cigarette, no tea, coffee, no onion, garlic. Prabhupada says. It doesn't say urad dal. So that means it's a detail, but for a serious sadhak who wants to progress, it's the next level. Like, when we go to, like exactly like mathematics, initially it is simple rules, but then there are more complex rules. Then there are exceptions. This exception is also possible. वो बच्चे बोलेंगे यार हमको तो सिखाया नहीं था सेकंड ग्रेड में. नहीं, वो सेकंड ग्रेड के लिए नहीं है. Higher. This is for people who are more advanced.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Last question, Shamchandra Prabhu.
Prabhu, not a question, just a quick addition on that Christianity perspective on the soul. I once had a discussion with my Mexican distributor, who is a hardcore Catholic, and I was, trying to find out why he's relishing this, non-veg food or meat so much. So he told me this is allowed in our religion. So I said, does Bible say that you can eat meat? So he says that Bible says that you can eat all that in which there is no soul. And they believe that animals don't have soul. That is the biggest thing. Plants we can understand, but they believe even animals don't have soul. They believe soul is only an intrinsic part of human beings. So this is a general Bible concept that other than human beings, nothing else has got soul. So you can eat if you want. This is what he said.
Right. And that is a misunderstanding, because there is soul in every living entity is a soul.
Yeah.
No soul, no life. So where there is life, there is soul. Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you for that point. I have also heard that, and people presented this argument to Prabhupada also. It's there in Prabhupada's conversations. Prabhupada would destroy that argument. Prabhupada, what do you think? What do you mean they don't have soul? If a cow doesn't have soul, Prabhupada would argue. Okay, last question, Shama Vallavi Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just I want to thank you, Prabhuji, by attending your classes. I think my Krishna consciousness actually progresses. I feel now that I should become more serious in my Krishna consciousness. Just like you're telling that urad dal we should not eat. Being a South Indian, we have daily in our food, but now I will take care that I should become more serious in my Krishna consciousness, that I should avoid certain things. And also I remember that Prabhuji, Prahalad Maharaj prayers also, no, father and mother cannot protect a child, doctor cannot protect a patient. That I remember, Prabhuji, that I wanted to share with you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Mataji. Hare Krishna. One last thing, dear devotees. Today is the birthday of little Nimai. You see little Nimai there? Sincere, a very sincere young girl. And she is always there with video on, attending so many classes, very sincerely chanting. So let us please 3 times chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Mridula Mataji. She is a very sincere devotee. And let us pray for her spiritual advancement. May Guru Gauranga bless her immensely so that she is able to go deeper and deeper in her Krishna consciousness and serve Hari Guru and Vaishnavas always. Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Hare Rama, Rama
Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And if any of you have your birthdays and you want all these devotees to pray for you, then please do let us know.
Hare
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai. Radhe Radhe,
Jai
Jai Shri
Gaur
Radhe.
Prem.